Hi, so today we're going to be in this lesson we're going to be looking at how to multiply number base. So multiplication in number base. So how do we multiply numbers in base? So we have these numbers in base 2. 1 0 1 0 multiplied by 1 1 1 in base 2. So we're going to do that with the same principle that we do in normal multiplication. So 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Okay, so we're dealing with this multiplied by all of this. Okay, 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. So I'm going to write that just below that. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. And 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Okay, so I'm going to start with this multiplied by this. 1 multiplied by 0 is actually 0. 1 multiplied by 1 is actually 1. Then 1 multiplied by 0 is 0. And 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. So basically, I'm going to add all of this up together. Okay, so this is actually 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0, that's 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, but remember you're dealing with in base 2, so your digits must not be up to 2. So that's going to be 2 divided by the base, and that's 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write down my remainder. So you have 0, 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. The same thing, 1 remainder 0. I'm going to have 0 here and 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Same thing, 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write 1 remainder 0. And that's your answer in base 2. So that's it. So we have this example. So I want you to try this on your own. Pause the video and get started. All right. So 1 multiplied by 1 is basically 1. 1 multiplied by 0, you have 0. And 1 multiplied by 1, you have 1. And 1 multiplied by this, you have 1. And 1 multiplied by this one, you have 1. Okay, so you have 0. Move to the next. Multiplied by this, 0 multiplied by 1 is 0. So because 0 multiplied by anything is 0, all of that is going to be 0. So 1 multiplied by 1, you have 1. 1 multiplied by 0, you have 0. And 1 multiplied by 1, what you get is 1. 1 multiplied by 1, you get 1. And 1 multiplied by 1, you get 1. Okay, good. So let me add this up together. All right, so yeah, I've bring this down. So I have 1, 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. So, but because we're counting in base 2, the digits must not be up to 2. So you just have 0 and 1. So 2 divided by 2, what you get is 1 remainder 0. 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write down the remainder, carry 1. So 1 plus 1 is still 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, have 1 remainder 0. So 0, 1. So in this case, you have 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 1, you have 3. 3 divided by 2 is actually 1 remainder 1. So I have 1 carry up 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And we have this. That's 1 remainder 0. Write down your remainder, carry 1. And 1 plus 1 is still 2. 1 remainder 0. So I'm just going to basically write 1 remainder 0. And so that's in base 2. So that's it. So now we're dealing with these digits now in base 5. I'll see 2, 1, 3 base 5 multiplied by 2, 1 base 5. So how do you multiply this in base 5? Alright, so let's kick off. But you can pause the video to try it if you can. So 1 times 3, you have 3. 1 times 1, you got 1. 1 times 2, you have 2. Then you move to the next. 2 times 3, you have 6. But I can't write 6 because 6 is not part of the digits of base 5. The digits of base 5 are just 0 to 4. So basically, I have to divide by the base. 6 divided by 5, I have 1 remainder 1. So I'm going to write 1, then carry 1. So you have 2 times 1, I have 2. Plus this one, plus this one, I have 3. 2 multiplied by 2, I have 4. Okay, that's pretty nice. So I'm going to add these things up. So 3, 1 plus 1, you have 2. 2 plus 5, sorry, 2 plus 3, you have 5. 5 divided by 5, you have 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write the remainder 0, then carry 1. 1 plus 4 is still 5. 5 divided by 5, you have 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write 1, 0. So and this is in base 5. So that's it. We have this example 513 base 7 multiplied by 333 base 7. So I would encourage you to actually pause this video and lay your hands on it and see what you get. So basically, we're going to start. 3 times 3 is 6. Sorry, 3 times 3 is 9. Pardon me. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 is greater than 7. So I'm going to divide that by 7. 9 divided by 7. What I have is 1 remainder 2. Okay, so I can write the remainder 2. Then take up this one. Then 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1. That's 4. Okay. 3 times 5. I have 15. But 15 is greater than 7. So I'm going to do 15 divided by 7. And so I have 2 remainder 1. So I'm going to write the remainder. But since that's the last digit, I'm just going to write 2, 1. Then go back to this again. 3. So since all of them are just 3 the same digit, 3 times 3 is 9. 9 divided by 7, you have 1 remainder 2. Write the remainder. Then carry 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1, you have 4. And 3 times 5, you have 15. 15 divided by 7, you have 2 remainder 1. And so I'm going to repeat that again since it's just the same digit. So 2, 4, 1, 2. Okay. So we're going to add these up together. So I'm going to bring this down. So they have 2. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 is less than 7. Pretty cool. 6. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 2. That's 7. So 7, can write 7 because 7 is not part of digit of numbers in base. Digits in base 7. So going to divide by the base. 7 divided by 7. I have 1 remainder 0. So I'm going to write the remainder 0. Carry 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. Plus 4, that's 8. 8 over 7. And that gives us 1 remainder 1. And I have 1. Then carry up 1. And so I have 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 is less than 7. It's fine. And then I have 2. So basically, this is my answer. 241062 base 7. So here we'll go with this example. So it kind of looks tricky. But let me do this. Then I'm going to do another example. And then you can try that one. So here we'll go with this example. We're multiplying in base 15. And it's going to be complicated. But I just want you to listen carefully. So A is actually 10. We've talked about that before. And D is actually 13. So if you can remember, you have to check the previous video for that. So the link will be dropped in the description section. So A multiplied by D, that's 10 multiplied by 13, and that's 130. So 130, which is greater than 15, I have to divide that by the base. So that would give us 10. Let me do that. Let me use my calculator. 130 divided by 15. That's 8. Remainder 10. Okay. We're going to write the remainder. But remember, 10 is the part of our digits. So we used to represent 10 with an alphabet. And that's A. Okay. So we're done with that. So I'm actually taking it as slow as possible. A multiplied by 3. A is 10. Multiply that by 3. Remember, we had 150 divided by 15 and we had 8 whole number. We didn't put that 8 here. We're supposed to carry 8. It was 8 remainder 10. We wrote a remainder, then carry your 8. So 10 times 3, that's 8 times 3 is 30 plus 8, you have 38. And so you have 38, then just do that here. 38 divided by the base, that's 15. So you have 38 divided by 15. And so what I got is 2 remainder 8. Okay, so I'm going to write down the remainder 8, then carry the 2 up, right? Then I have A multiplied by 5. A is 10, by 5 you have 50, plus 2 you have 52, then 52, then you have 52, that's greater than 15, divided by the base, which is 15. And basically what you get is 3 whole number, that's 3 remainder 7. So because that's the last digit, I'll just basically just write 3, 7. Then I move to this 1 times D. 1 times D is actually D, so there's no need to alter that. 1 times 3 is actually 3. And 1 times 5 is actually 5. So there is no need to alter that. Okay, so let's add this up. So A, still nothing to say about that. 8 plus D, remember your D is 13. So that's 13 plus 8. 21. So 21 divided by 15. That's what you have to look at. 21 divided by 15. So that's going to be 1 remainder 6. So I'm going to write the remainder 6, then carry 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 is still under 15. But 11 is represented with an alphabet, and that is B. So I'm going to write B here. Then 3 plus 5 is 8. So I made sure that that is as slow as possible. So and this is in base 15. So here we have this 7b9 base 16 multiplied by 2b base 16. So we all know that b is actually 11. And 11 times 9, we have 99. So 99 is greater than 16. So we have to do 99 divided by 16. So we get 6 remainder 3. 6. So I'm going to write down the remainder and carry 6 up. Then b times b. What's my b? My b is actually 11. That's 11 times 11. That's 121, then plus 6, I have 127. So you have to do 127 divided by 16. 127 over 16. So how many 127 can we see in 16? And so we have 7, remainder 15. So 15 is actually, we can't write 15, you just have to change that to the alphabet of 15, and that's F. F. And you have remainder, what? Remainder, sorry, you have the whole number 7. So I'm going to put that here, 7. So you have B times 7. B is 11. 11 times 7 is 77. Then plus the up one, 7. And you have 84. So 84 is greater than 16. So you have to just divide that by 16. So you have 84 divided by 16. And so what I get is 5 whole number, 5 remainder 4. That's what we got. 5 remainder 4. So I'm going to write, since that's the last digit, I'm going to write 5 and then 4. Okay, so we now move to 2 times 9. And that's 18. 18 divided by 16. 18 is greater than 16. So basically, I'm going to have 2. 18 divided by 16. I'm going to have 1 remainder 2. So I'm going to write the remainder here, then carry the 1 here. And just erase that off. I'm going to carry the 1 here. Okay, so 2 times B. B, as I said earlier, is 11. That's 11 times 2. That's 22 plus 1, 23. So I'm going to have 23 divided by 16. So how many 23 can you get in 16? So that's 1, remainder 7. And so I'm going to write the remainder 7, then carry 1. Okay, then we're going to have 2 times 7. That's 14 plus 1, 15. So I could have just written 15, but then we have an alphabet that represents 15, and that is F. So I'm going to add this up together. And so we have 3. F is 15 plus 2, you have 17. And you can write 17. So you have to do 17 divided by 16. And so you have 1 remainder 1. 1, then carry out 1. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 7 is 12. So it's still less than 16. So I could write that. But 12, we can write 12. We have to write it in the equivalent alphabet. 12 is C. Okay. Then we have 5 plus F. 5 plus F is actually 15. And so we have 20. So we can write 20. So we just have to write 20 is greater than 16. So you have to divide 20 by 16. And 20 by 16 is 1 remainder 4. So basically, we're going to write 1, that's the last digit, 1 and 4. And so that's in base 16.